It's time. Holiday season has time. Today we are reviewing the Pillow Talk Beautyverse Love Palette, and is what you would expect from Charlotte. See if it's right for you to wear this holiday season. You might want to pick one up for yourself. Let's design a look. I'm so impressed with the way they blend. Hello, so today we are reviewing the Charlotte Tilbury holiday palette that she has brought out this year. All the brands are bringing them out right now, and Charlotte Tilbury is just such a fun and festive type of brand in general, so it is just perfect. This is the Pillow Talk Beautyverse Love Palette from Charlotte Tilbury, of course, and it is what you would expect from Charlotte. This is of the Pillow Talk vibe with sparkles and mattes. We're going to go through each individual shade and discuss them, see if it's right for you to wear for this holiday season. You might want to pick one up for yourself. It's November 1st today as I'm filming this, and it's time. Holiday season has time. Halloween was done yesterday, and now we're shifting into Christmas mode, which I love. Yeah, or maybe you want to give it as a gift for a friend. But let's get started, and I'm going to pop it on my eyes as well with you as we talk about the shades. Let's get started. So I've already done a lot of my makeup except for my eyeshadows and mascara and my lip products, but everything else on my base I've already done. All those products will be linked down below, detailed in the description box, so you know exactly what I'm wearing on my face, because I know some of you have asked me and I haven't always linked it all, so it's all linked down there. Yes, I will always be doing that from now on. So looking at the eyeshadows itself and what you get in the pan, you have these three across the top, and then these two over here are the Future Mattes formulation that Charlotte does. And then you have over here, this one here, you have what she calls is the Party Topper type of product, the ultra glittery, the ultra sparkly ones that you use your finger and you slide it on over the top of your eyeshadow look. And then along the bottom three, they are called the Crystal Glow formulations, very sparkly, very glittery type of eyeshadow. And we're going to swatch them all together. So on my hand here, I have swatched all of the matte shades, the Future Mattes. They are really nice. They are very creamy type of matte formula, not super powdery, not fluffing around everywhere. They go on really smooth and seamlessly. So on the top one, starting from the left to right on the palette, this one is called Futuristic Pink, this one is Cyber Rose, this one is Supernova Smolder, and then you have here the Virtual Romance and the Offline. Virtual Romance is very much like a burgundy shade, which is very much on trend right now in fashion in winter. So she's trying to pull that from fashion to bring it into the makeup. And then this one here, in the pan, it does look very much like a kind of like a black, but it does swatch, and when you use it, it's very much more of like a charcoal black. It's not super opaque. You could build it up, but it's not too intensely pigmented in terms of the black. Okay, so I've swatched the rest of the palette, the Crystal Glow on the bottom and the Party Topper over here. If you can see in the light, the sparkle of that one. Now, interestingly, I find this one here, the Crystal Glow one, it's a little bit flaky, powdery, so do be careful and make sure you tap that off, and I would suggest applying that one with a finger. This one here is meant to be a Crystal Glow one, the gold, rose gold realm. It's actually, unfortunately, it's not all that pigmented, but it could be nice as well. And this one is really beautiful. The digital pink is almost like a foil, like a metallic foil type of eyeshadow formula. Really creamy as well. This one and this one, worlds apart. Bit flaky, a bit chunkier type of glitter. This one really creamy. This one's a little bit lackluster, not as sparkly, and then that one is beautiful as well, the topper. Love it. So let's design a look. I would say that the palette in general is a little bit overall, it's quite a medium, it's quite a dark eyeshadow palette. I would appreciate a bit of a lighter shade in there, but let's see what look we can come up with. I think it will look quite dark on my eyes because I am very pale, but I have a bit of a darker top, so a bit of a higher contrast on the base, so I can add a little bit more contrast because I'm looking a little bit more paler against the quite dark top. So I'm going to go in with the first matte, the Futuristic Pink, and dust that all over my lid. I'm keeping it a little bit more on the outer corner because, as you can see, on me and on my complexion, it is already quite intense shade for me, very deep. These two are probably the lightest shades in the palette, and we already have quite a built-up color on my complexion. So that's something to think about. If you do like really intense colors and eyeshadows, then you will like it if you have a similar complexion to me. But if you don't, you know, it's definitely a bit more a night out eye. But I must say, this is blending so nicely. These mattes, they blend really, really creamy. Absolutely beautiful the way they blend. There we go. So it's kind of a bit more of a wash, less like making a full-on crease there on the eye. So I'm just going to do the other side. So now we have the Futuristic Pink in the Future Matte Shadow on my lid, and the blend on these mattes is just like nothing else, really. I'm so impressed with the way they blend. Matte eyeshadows are more complicated and not as easy to blend as a shimmer type of eyeshadow where it kind of blurs everything a little bit. Mattes, you know, they can get patchy quite easily. So these ones for beginners are beautiful, beautiful formulations in this palette. So I like to add a little bit of smokiness under the eye, and I think I'm going to do that with the Supernova Smolder, the one on this side. Slightly darker than that one, but in the same type of family. Oh, they blend so nicely. So that's the smolder shade, the Supernova Smolder under the eyes there. It's giving very, very Pillow Talk vibes at the moment with all these matte shades and none of the sparkles. So you can pull off like a very Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette by itself, not, you know, for the evening for sparkles. So quite usable and wearable, I would say. And you could use the dark shade along the lash line, and then you've got a bit more depth around the eyes. So I really want to give the Virtual Romance, this burgundy shade, a go on the lash line and wing it out a little bit. So I'm taking a very sharp, blunt brush, picking that up. Always tap off, even though these formulations are really lovely. And I feel like this will give it that a bit more holiday collection feeling. Whereas if you went, they're so creamy. If you went with the charcoal type shade, it would definitely be a bit more just of a, you know, standard makeup look. Okay, so in the pan, it definitely looks a lot more scary and red. I know often people don't feel great about putting red near their eyes because it can make you look a little bit angry, sick, unwell. We don't want that. But you tell me, do you think it's making me look unwell? It's very light, actually. So I'm just going to pull that out a bit. Create a bit of a wing. There we go. That is the burgundy shade. Really not scary at all. Just kind of further enhances the Pillow Talk colours. Do the other side. Right, so both wings are now done in that burgundy shade, and I think it's time to add some sparkle from this palette, because after all, that is what it is about. Okay, so for sure it's got to be the Pillow Talk Beautyverse Party Topper that we are going to add. For the sparkle, we need some festiveness to this makeup look. You get the most payoff from sparkles when you use your finger to apply it. If you use a fluffy brush, then it disperses it and you don't get as much on the lid, which you want the most on the lid. So, ooh, it's like pink champagne vibes. Charlotte does great sparkle. Not bringing it too far across, but gorgeous. You take your fluffy brush and just buff out the edges to make sure it's blended, because you can't quite do that with a finger. Now I do want to add a little sparkle underneath the eyes. I'm going to try a bit of this one here, the Rose Gold Beam, that didn't really swatch that well. And I'm just going to layer that on top of this one. Yeah, it's really a bit of a lackluster shade. Okay. And then I'm going to try some of this chunkier one, the Pixel Pink, and really put that on the inner corner, on the lower lash line here. Kind of just pressing that, because it's quite chunky. That's very Christmassy. Okay, this shade it's a bit more theatrical with the larger chunks of glitter, so it definitely brings that holiday Christmas party with your friends vibe. Would look also good on the top of the lid, but I've got the topper style one there. So yeah, underneath it definitely is popping, making it very holiday vibes, but still so wearable, because I've not gone in with too many dark shades or really like buffed them out to make them work for me and my complexion. So let's curl the lashes and put some mascara on, and I'll be back. Okay, so the mascara is done, which is like my favorite bit. I love it because it just really pulls the eye together. And I have also just added a little bit of Supernova Smolder, this one here, with a smudging brush underneath the lashes, just on the outer corner, just to darken that up a bit. I feel like it got lost a little bit along the way somewhere. So now the eyes are complete with the palette. Pretty happy with the look. It's still very wearable. It still feels very me, nothing too dark and dramatic, even though the palette, I would say, is quite a deep palette. So if you don't really like super deep colors, you might find it a little bit challenging, but they do look a little bit more pigmented in the pan than when you put them on. You can really blur them out because they perform so nicely. But these two, a little bit doubling up, it would be nice if maybe one was swapped out with a little bit more of a lighter cream beige type of shade, or a taupe shade would be nice. And this one is not very exciting, but if you really wanted to go for it, this one would be quite an intense color from the swatches. As you can see here, it's quite a color. Now, lips. So also I will say that this palette was gifted to me. I went to the PR event here in Hong Kong and they gifted me this one, which is the Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Hollywood Lip Trio. So, you know, they have just so many fun gifting products at Charlotte Tilbury for the holiday season at all different price points. So this one's obviously a smaller price point. This is the trio of lipsticks, which I've not cracked open yet. So we have 3 shades in here with the mini size lipstick, which is so good for your handbag. So let's swatch them all. This one here, we have 90s Pink. I'm going to swatch that. Bit of a hydration, bit of shine coming off there, which is lovely. Then we have the Hollywood Vixen. This looks like a matte red. Yes, more of a matte shade. Wow, these lines are really beautiful. And then we have the Icon Baby. Ooh, much more of a sheerer hydrating formula. Ooh, that is lovely. So here's the swatches on my hand. We have 90s Pink, Hollywood Vixen, and Icon Baby. So I think it's a really good set, actually. They've got a great range. You've got your intense Christmas red. You've got a little bit more of a, still very hydrating, and it has a shine to it. A little bit more of an intense nude shade. And then you've got a really wearable, everyday type of shade, I would say. Which one should I put on for this look? I reckon you could do all of them, actually. I mean, some people do think when you wear a red lip that you should really have a very pared back eye, and probably pink and red don't go for some people. I think it'll be okay. I think it could look fun. I think I'm going to go with the more deeper nude shade here, which is this one, the 90s Pink, okay? And we're going to apply that just cold from the bullet without a lip liner. Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Charlotte's products are so nice. Oh. Goes on like a dream. I like that. I feel like the eyes and the lips are matching in their contrast and intensity. So that is the 90s Pink on the lip. Very beautiful shade. So wearable. And that's the look we have today. My earrings, if you are looking and wondering, will be linked down below. They are cheaper than chips probably now with inflation. They are from a website called Yes Style, and they kind of ship global. They're a big global retailer, and you can get all of your Japanese and Korean skincare products and makeup products, as well as they have some like accessories as well, but they are very, very cheap. They will not last long, but I just thought they would be good for this look and a little bit holiday feeling and impactful but light. I can't stand heavy earrings that weigh my earlobes down. It really like stresses me out. So these are like just perfect for me. They do get a little bit lost in my hair, but anywho, that is today's look and the review and walkthrough of the new Charlotte Tilbury palette for the holidays. Let me know if seeing it on me makes you interested in wanting to get it, or now you are safe and you can save some money and it's not for you. Let me know in the comments below what you think. The lip kit I think is fantastic. It's her iconic shades. It's very wearable. Great little mini sizes, but not too mini for your handbag. And yeah, that's the look today. It's a good palette. I think it's a great palette. It's a great gift. It's very fun. It's sparkly. It's gorgeous with the starburst love heart there at the front. And you've got the diamantes inside of it. It's so pretty. It doesn't take up too much room with an extra like area for unuseful eyeshadow brushes in there. Great big mirror on the inside, which is fabulous. And yeah, that's the palette. That's the look. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.